PD Beats here from Pop Turner, speaking to Melisa Ferhatovic about A Nearly Normal Family, which is streaming worldwide on Netflix. Welcome to the show. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I'm really excited to chat with you. I mean, this show, dropped and, everyone was kind of like interested in the premise and everything. And then everyone watched it and it was a big hit for Netflix. So congratulations. I want to kind of go in terms of go back a little bit. What was the audition process like specifically for this one? Was it kind of your standard kind of audition story, I guess?
Actually, no. This time, well, surprise. No, but this time it was pretty straightforward for me.
Yeah.
I had auditioned for Frida since 2020 for multiple projects, but I never landed anything with her.
Okay.
And I found out through a friend that she was casting or looking for people with my accent, my Swedish accent. And I just kind of sent a quick email saying, if you find me suitable for anything, I'd love to just pop in and say hello,
Yeah.
Left it at that. I didn't know it was a Netflix show, didn't know anything about it. And a couple of days later, her assistant called me. I didn't have her numbers. I was like, I'm always hesitant at answering unknown numbers. I kind of just wait them out and then Google the number to see who called. But this time, I do. I do that.
Wait for the voicemail, or wait for if they send a voicemail
exactly.
or not.
Or the text, so I know. Exactly. But I just kind of had a gut feeling, so I answered. I was in the middle of a supermarket and went, "Hello." I didn't even say my name because I didn't know.
You thought about the timing maybe, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Can you imagine if it wasn't though, and you're just the one time I get up with my plan?
Well, oh God, I would hang up so quickly. You have no idea. And she just went, "Hi, this is Åsa. Are you Amina?" And I just felt like my stomach dropped. I went, "Oh, how do I tell this kind woman that she's reached the wrong person?" I'm like, "I don't know who you're looking for, but my name's Melisa." It went, "Oh my God, my bad. Amina is the character's name. My name is Åsa. I am Frida's assistant, and I would love to call you in for an audition. Are you available so and so date?" And I went, "Yeah, okay." It went well. Got a call back where I had a chemistry read with Alexandra, and met the director there for the first time. Then about 2.5 months later, they called me in for another chemistry read, but they lied. It wasn't a chemistry read.
This is a great audition story. You're setting this up perfectly. There's twists and turns.
It's the only one. The only one I have. Every chance I get to tell it, I do. But no, they had come to Malmö just to sort of surprise me and tell me that I got the part together with Alex.
That's amazing. No, I'm so happy for you and everything. Yeah. And I do want to know, there is original source material here, right? There's a book and everything. So I'm just curious, do you know anything about the book or the story before even auditioning? Because obviously you audition, you're going to take a look, maybe and research a little bit, and then you book it. But do you know anything about A Nearly Normal Family before you sign on?
I did actually. I had read the book before, forgot totally about it, and then when I went back to Stockholm, I read it. I think it was in connection to school or something.
You're like, oh yeah, right, Amina, the character that the person thought I was on the phone when they called me.
Nope, didn't ring a bell at all. When she kind of at the first audition, when she told me about the book and the project, it sort of rung familiar. So I Googled it quickly on my way home and went, "Oh, that one. Time to refresh my memory." So I bought the book and read it all over again just to have a fresh take on it.
Yeah.
And what was the question? Yeah, I was looking for a picture.
Yep.
The book is home in Skåne. I'm currently in Stockholm. I had put notes in the book and post-its everywhere and kind of just mapped out the book totally completely before I read the script and went in with that take.
Yeah. No, it's
if
awesome.
That answers the question.
It does, absolutely. And I obviously have questions about, preparing for a lot of these scenes because they're intense scenes. But yeah, you mentioned, you're in Sweden and everything, and I think it's the coolest thing because Sweden, population wise, is a very small country, and there's so much amazing
Yeah.
things happening in Sweden, and like so many amazing shows and everything. And it's pretty crazy, right? That like a small, Nordic Scandinavian country like has this like ability to like have a show that like so many countries all around the world are watching. Like it's crazy to think about, right?
I actually love that.
Yeah.
That Scandinavian shows in general are just like gaining popularity internationally.
Yeah. And I love a lot of Swedish music. Like I do. It's funny because when I was talking to Christian, I'm a big like metal fan, and there's a lot of amazing Swedish metal bands from Gothenburg and everything. But there's this group that seems to be pretty popular in Sweden that I'm listening to called Bolaget. Have you heard of them?
Bolaget.
Yeah, Bolaget.
No, I actually haven't. I haven't.
I
But
don't
wait,
know
I'm
if it's
gonna
like,
put this
it's
on my
interesting
phone right
because
now.
it's like, on Spotify, you can go to all the charts and you can see like the number one songs in each country, and they're always top. And it's like, I don't know what it is. It's like pop with a little bit of like hip hop and like a little bit of electronic, but it's good stuff.
That's an interesting
They're called
mix.
Bolaget. And I remember like
Bolaget.
I didn't pronounce it properly the first time, but now I know it's Bolaget. I think I read it like
Well,
Bolaget or something, but it's Bolaget.
Oh, well, Bolaget is pretty close. It's pretty close.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of amazing stuff from Sweden. You got to work with Alex and Christian, incredible actors and everything. What was that like specifically with Alex? Because some of those scenes are like incredible. Like that's my favorite. My favorite part of the show, I think, are the interactions between your characters. Like that, you both did an amazing job. So, like, what was that like, kind of working with everyone? And did you know them before the project as well? Because you're all like in Sweden, right?
Yeah. Well, we're all in Sweden, but at totally different places. So no, I didn't know anyone.
Okay.
And that was the weird thing about my first chemistry read with, or first and only chemistry read with Alex. I met her, and we just sort of hit it off instantly.
Yeah.
I don't know, something just felt really familiar about her.
It's like you knew her, like you met her, and it's like I feel like I've known you for like 3 years. That happens a lot of times.
It's freaky.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the case, and it just kept on being like that throughout the whole what's it called? Shooting of the show.
Yeah.
So it was great. It was like meeting up with a friend you've known your whole life.
So cool. There was definitely the on-screen kind of connections for sure. And there's tough scenes. Was it? I mean, you read the scripts, so you know what you've signed up for in a lot of ways, right? But like, there's going to be a lot of scenes in this that you're probably like, this is not going to be easy. This is going to be very emotional for me, like the court scenes and all that. You know what I mean? So like, what was that like for you specifically from an acting storyteller perspective, preparing for those intense scenes in this show?
Other than really exciting,
Yeah,
it was intense.
Yeah.
This is the biggest thing I've done yet, both story-wise and thinking about how many we're gonna see this. Before I only did shows that kind of, had screenings in Sweden, nationally, I'd never done anything with a global release before, so I definitely had that in the back of my mind from the get-go.
Interesting. Okay.
And together with just like, I honestly didn't understand what I took part of, and sort of still haven't understood what I've done.
Yeah.
All I knew was I really wanted for people to be able to, in some way, even if they probably hadn't had similar experiences, I wanted them to still be able to connect to it.
And to be able to talk about it as well.
Yeah. So I felt an immense sense of responsibility in like nailing that. And thankfully, everybody that worked on the show had the same thoughts.
Mentality, absolutely.
And mentality, yeah.
Yeah, and it's not going to be easy. And I feel like at some point though, like, do you game plan for this, like, or do you just go in and do your thing? Like, it's hard sometimes. Maybe not. Like, sometimes you're going to think about it no matter what. But I feel like at some point, you're ready to go. Right, you're going to go act. you're just focusing on the acting, you're not thinking about a lot of those things, or was that difficult for you to not think about it?
I'm a huge overthinker. I overthink everything, and
So
I
do
love
I.
to overplan everything.
Yeah.
I wish I could sort of go with Christian's vibe of just taking it as it goes. I really love that about working with him, because every scene we had together, the results were totally different every time, because he could just go in with a completely new mindset, whereas I had like overthought everything and sort of had a mapped out idea of what the scene was going to be
Yeah.
even before we shot it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I really got sort of familiar with, or I tried to get familiar with the thought patterns and like behavioral patterns for my character. I sort of figured out a lot of it through the books.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful that there was a book based that the show could base on, because the characters were really fleshed out.
Yes.
When you read the book, you really got an immediate sense of who the people were in the book.
And you could see that on screen, because I feel like the characters are really fleshed out on screen. Like I feel like, you know, we see your character. I feel like I know a lot about your character. Like after watching that.
Great.
Yeah, I mean that's you like to hear that, because I mean that's like
yes, thank you.
No, but A Nearly Normal Family is streaming now worldwide on Netflix, so they can check that out. Melissa, so great chatting with you. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. Thanks.
Yeah. Your Instagram account, is it just your name if people want to keep up to date with everything?
Yeah, it's my name, Melisa with one S, dot my last name, which is very long.
Ferhatovic.
Yeah.
Watch the show in subtitles in the language it was made.
Yes, I agree.
There was like, I think you weren't expecting me to say that. You were pausing like, oh my God, he's so intense. Subtitles. Okay? I think it's important. I always bring this up. They gotta watch it in Swedish with the subtitles. That's how it is. Well, this has been Popternative. YouTube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. Until next time, this is Melisa Ferhatovic, who plays Amina in Nearly Normal Family, which is streaming now worldwide on Netflix. And PD Beats, signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.